currently a professor but an interim vice president and principal of UTM.
Albert Yan, he is CEO of Evercrest Design Group, a small construction company.
As well as Preja Gutic, a quality assurance manager for the fraud and anti-money laundering applications of the Royal Bank of Canada.
These three people were ideal to interview for this project because they are varying positions within their organizations and were able to provide nice insight into cultural communication practices.
Social media, cross-cultural communication, effectiveness, internal and external communication are all topics we chose to focus on, and now we will explain them more by referencing our interviews as well as our research.
From our research, we found possible advantages when using social media as a communications tool for both customers and employees. One study from the Journal of Computer-Mediated Communications insisted that social media is a powerful tool for nonprofit organizations that should not be overlooked.
The study focused on nonprofit organizations leveraging social media, such as Twitter. They found that there was a huge increase in customer and employee interest in the company. As a result, customers and employees were more likely to take action, like donations or getting involved with the organization, as well as communicating with them. This isn't just for nonprofits though. Our goal was to link our research with the current communication practices the executives implement in their workplace, both internally and externally.
Though it wasn't mentioned at length in the interviews, social media is an important part of communication within a business, especially for external communication. Professor Krull said that the communications department at UTM is always undergoing changes and learning how to best reach students and the public. For example, their Twitter page is always up to date with up-to-the-minute info, and he gets monthly social media reports so he can monitor it all.
Compare that to Albert at Evercrest, who knows the social media is important, but his company doesn't use it too much. It's not the best way to reach his potential customers, he finds, and it takes time to manage it.
With the prominence of globalization, communication between cultures is vital for the success of businesses. Throughout our interviews with each executive we spoke to, they encountered their own communication challenges. Within RBC, for example, offshore teams located in India are a part of a functioning team placed here in Toronto. The project's meetings and means of communication have to be effective in order to make sure that each person is receiving the same message. Evercrest Construction deals with many immigrant and first-generation families. Understanding the values and what's important to them makes a huge difference in terms of their sales. And finally, UTM accepts a numerous amount of international students. The emphasis of accessibility to translational applications is very important.
Based on interview and researches, we come up with several important points people should be aware of when they're doing business cross-cultural. The first one is slow down when you are talking. The second one is always respect the culture. The third one is sensitive to different body language and different meaning of gestures. The fourth one is understand that within each culture there are huge differences based on gender, education, and religion. The last one is understand surface culture and deep culture when doing cross-cultural businesses. For instance, in Mandarin, 同志 is a respect calling 50 years ago. It means partner or co-worker in surface culture. However, as internet language developed in the past decade, 同志 developed another meaning in deep culture, which is gay. Calling people 同志 nowadays may offend people somehow.
The three organizations we interview mainly use email and phones for internal or external communication. According to the research we have conducted, email is still the most widely and commonly used tool for organizational communication. It is effective and helps organizations to be productive.
According to our interviews, at University of Toronto, email is the best way to make school announcements, even though a lot of students don't check their email proactively. At RBC, email is used for non-urgent tasks internally and externally, as well as a basic company-wide announcement. RBC also has their own internal instant messaging system when an immediate response is expected. The last interviewee is the CEO of the design company, talked about using email, phone call, and text to communicate externally without mentioning their usage of instant messaging system. So it is assumed that the company prefer email when dealing with the digital communication.
There are many effective ways to communicate through emails. Be concise, be simple, don't be too wordy. Focus on key points you want to say. And don't spend your email like spending way too much email per day. Bold very important information or list them in point forms so that your recipient can easily spot them or understand them. Although email is effective, in order to achieve optimal productivity, it should be combined with other mediums of communication, such as face-to-face interaction or online conferencing.
We hope you learned something and better understand communication within businesses. Thank you for watching.